All right, welcome everyone to the deep dive. Today we're really zeroing in on a piece of a headline actually that just popped up. Feels pretty significant.
Yeah, the source is a report from The Guardian. It was published July 4th, 2025, and the title is just Trump's tax and spending bill. Hmm. So our mission here today is pretty straightforward. Let's quickly understand why this headline matters right now,
hmm
why it's important for you to know about it. Okay, let's unpack this.
Well, what's fascinating here right off the bat is seeing that specific headline, Trump's tax and spending bill, appear in July 2025. I mean, it strongly suggests a very clear, very early legislative priority if we're talking about a potential second term. Historically, this points towards pulling some very specific economic levers. It's usually more than just a routine budget proposal. It signals a philosophy. Right, and that's where it gets really interesting, isn't it? Just the fact that this headline exists now in July 2025. It's not some abstract plan. It's being reported as, well, a current thing. So what does that timing tell us? And the name attached to it? What signals does that send about the political climate or maybe even economic shifts we should be watching?
We connect this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
the timing. It suggests an administration wanting to move really quickly, hit the ground running with its agenda, and a tax and spending bill,
Hmm.
especially associated with this particular political figure, well, it typically points towards a focus on supply-side economics.
Okay, supply side. What does that usually look like in practice?
Think potentially more tax reductions, maybe focused on corporations, possibly certain income groups. The idea being to spur investment, create jobs. You also often see a push for deregulation alongside this. And on the spending side, funds might be shifted, maybe towards infrastructure, defense, or specific industries seen as important. Basically, a bill like this. It's designed to set the stage for a deliberate reshaping of the economy and potentially social policy, too.
Okay, so even without knowing the exact details in this specific bill yet, if we assume it leans that way towards those kinds of policies, what are the sort of broad conceptual impacts we might anticipate? How could that kind of shift generally affect the economy or, just us or our daily lives?
Well, broadly speaking, these kinds of policy directions can ripple out everywhere. They can influence, say, interest rates, maybe employment numbers, for instance. Big tax cuts might aim to put more capital into the economy. Right?
Right, stimulus.
Exactly. But they could also raise longer-term questions, things like national debt or potential gaps in government revenue. And then on the spending side, if there's big investment in infrastructure, for example, that could mean jobs in construction, engineering,
But cuts elsewhere could mean.
could mean impacts on public services, yeah, or different government programs.
Yeah.
The core idea is that these decisions redirect money and resources, and that flow affects wages, consumer prices, even what kind of support programs are available. It helps to anticipate how that flow might change.
And that's really why it's so vital for you listening to be aware of this stuff. Even just the headline, it lets us start thinking about potential changes even before all the details are out. So, what does this all mean? What's our main takeaway here? I think the key takeaway from this deep dive is just how crucial it is to watch these major legislative headlines, like Trump's tax and spending bill. Even when the specifics aren't totally clear yet, these headlines are powerful signals, early indicators, really, of where policy might be heading.
Yeah, and this raises an important question, doesn't it? How much can one headline really tell you? Actually, quite a bit. It signals potential major policy shifts. It gives you, the listener, a kind of heads up. It lets you start thinking about how things might change, things that could affect your finances, maybe your job sector, or even the public services you use day to day. Knowing these broad strokes helps you anticipate, maybe
Yeah.
adapt a little. It's better than just, reacting after everything has already happened.
Absolutely. It really is about being proactive, trying to understand the forces shaping things around us. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this important deep dive today. Stay curious and stay informed.